Hello and welcome to Drag Activity Time. I'm super excited you're here. I am Marty McGuy, your host per usual. I'm really excited for the show that we've got for you today. We have a great lineup, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And how do we get started every week now? We have a new tradition. If you are unaware, I'm really excited for you to hear our personal theme song. Yes, we have a theme song written by the Banana Band. So I am going to let them take it away.
Drag's a time to learn and play, help create a brighter day.
Drag's a place to sing a song with new friends there to sing along. And
Drag is an adventure with no 2 days the same.
Drag's a magic word for dancing, reading, arts, and games.
D.R.A.G.
Thousand fun activities.
D.R.A.G.
I can be the best of me.
So no matter who you are and what you like to do,
There's a place for you right here, 'cause the star of drag is you. It's drag.
activity time. It's
Drag activity time. Drag activity. Endless possibilities. Singing stories, celebrating. Science straight up innovating. Come on, everybody, let's rock and roll. 'Cause Harriet Hancock got some soul. It's drag activity time.
I think we need to have a contest where we have people submit their best dance moves to Drag Activity Time. And I do have some prizes coming up. We have some new people that are going to be coming on the show, and they have offered me some giveaways. So that might be something we do because that is a very danceable song, and I am very excited to see what you guys could do with it. So if this is your first time at Drag Activity Time, welcome. Again, I'm Marty McGuy. We do this almost every Sunday. We're really excited that you're here, and I just realized that has the wrong date on it, but it is not January 24th. It is February 7th, 2021. Um, Today we have a lineup of Queen Alora. We are very lucky here at Drag Activity Time that we get people from all over, even fairies, even from the sea. So we're really excited. We're welcoming back Colbert O'Hara. He's a longtime and frequent volunteer. We're super grateful for that. Stephen and Aaron, who are frequent commenters in the section on our Facebook. We're really excited. We have Addie's Art Corner. So, like I said, we do all sorts of activities here, and we have, of course, our resident glitter man himself, Mr. CJ Foxstar. It's going to be a great show. Again, if you're new to us and you're not from the South Carolina area, you may not know why we're called the Harriet Hancock Activity Time. Harriet Hancock is a woman here in South Carolina. She is a lawyer. Her son was gay and realized, hey, I'm in South Carolina and there's not a lot of resources for my son and people like my son. So started to advocate in the early 70s, 80s, and still today. And so one of her initiatives was a community center called the Harriet Hancock Community Center. It is in downtown Columbia, South Carolina. It is currently closed due to COVID, but we have been operating online for as long as COVID has had us down. We were obviously upset about that at first, but we've made so many new friends from literally all across the world, all across the universes. So that's really exciting. But if you ever get a chance to come by when we are open again, we would absolutely love to have you. They have all sorts of programs. Obviously, Drag Activity Time is one of them. We have Gay ARP for our elderly community. We have knitting clubs. We have teen teen groups. We have trans acceptance groups as well. We have also, if there's a program out there, we have one for you. And we used to do community potlucks, which were really great, a really great way to meet other people in the community. So hopefully this year or next year our doors will be back open. We can only hope. So again, if you're new, we like to do breathing techniques here. Breathing techniques are just a great way to refocus ourselves so we can listen and relax and enjoy what we're about to hear. So we like to make them a little fun. So today we're doing one called the Pikachu that I made up. I've myself been getting really into Pokemon. I know some of our listeners have, so I decided to do the Pikachu one today. So I'm going to show you how to do it once, and then you're going to do it with me 3 times. So you're going to go You're going to say Pika, Pika, and then you're going to breathe in through your nose. And then you're going to let it out and say chew. And you can do that as animated as you want. So you're going to go Pika, chew. 2 more times. Pika, chew. 1 more time. Pika, chew. Very good. I can see my little friends that are going to be with us today doing it. So I hope you were able to do it at home. Hi. I'm looking at the comments. Hi, Tiffany. Nice to see you. Hi, Kendra. Hi, Robert. It's good to see you. I love to see some new friends in here. Hi, Dee. And of course, Stephen and Addie. I see you here. Steven's in his Pikachu pajamas. So we also like to do well wishes, and a well wish is just a way of saying, we're here for you. We're thinking about you. You're with us, and we are going to send a part of ourselves to be with you and comfort you in this time. So obviously, unfortunately, COVID has not been off the well wish since we have started doing drag activity time. But now I wanted to shift it a little bit to all the people administering vaccines. There's been a lot of people volunteering, helping check people in, going to these volunteer sites. I've seen local politicians do it, teens and that are not at risk for COVID helping out. So they're within our thoughts, and the people who are getting the COVID, and the scientists, of course, who helped fast track this so we can get a little sense of normalcy. And something that's always been on my brain is childcare teachers. Everyone's talking about how teachers should get vaccinated, which of course we agree with. Getting them back to the classroom. But who's been in the classroom since the pandemic began was childcare teachers. Childcare teachers, there has not been a break for them. There's really they are in group B instead of group A, which I think they should be in group A for the vaccine. That's just my opinion. And I've had a lot of friends that are childcare teachers that are very worried about this time and very high risk groups. So we're going to wish them well and hope that they get pushed to the front of the line for the vaccine very, very soon, because we know how important quality childcare is to our society to run efficiently, and of course to make great human beings for the rest of the world. So, how we do wishful here is you're going to put your hand over your heart and you're going to think of the things that we talked about. And if there's something going on in your life that if you would like to share in the comments, I'm happy to wish you well. Or if you just want to, think about it heavily, and I'll just be thinking about the unsaid wish wells that are on people's hearts and on people's minds. But we're going to close our eyes. We're going to take a deep breath, just like we do with Pikachu. And we're going to say, "We wish you well," when we exhale. So, we wish you well. We have a lot to celebrate this week. A lot, a lot, a lot. So we talked about, of course, celebrating the first female vice president, but it bears repeating, as Bianca Del Rio once says. We still have a first female vice president. She's done a lot of great work. But I also wanted to share this great photo of my niece that my sister sent me, of her wearing the shirt I got her and Steven, that have Kamala Harris standing next to all the former vice presidents. And I love that she looks like a little Leslie Knope. She's getting down to business. Great picture. I also have a cute video of Steven will show momentarily, but I want to get through a couple other things. My friend Ricky Rose, a very, very talented king, is putting on a drag show, a little bit more for like 13 and up, but I did want to share it because there's so many great black kings. People of color, especially in the drag world, are they don't get a lot of exposure. Especially kings in general. So I wanted to put Ricky's show up, and for all those who are adults that would like to contribute, it is a suggested donation, but Ricky is trying to help pay the kings what they are worth, so they are accepting donations to help go toward the pay for their performers. They are trying to get to 2,000. I think they're at 350. I will put the link to the event and Ricky's information so you can find out about it. But it's a really great digital drag show, and we definitely support digital drag here because we want you to be safe and we want the experience to be safe. Yes, hi, yes, that is your sister, Steven. And then finally, I also wanted to talk about I am trying to raise money The 25th of February, I also work in my part time for a trivia company, and they're having me do a Harry Potter trivia. Now, obviously, I've had a bit of a weird. I'm a big fan of Harry Potter growing up, huge part of my childhood. But when J.K. Rowling said what she said, we've all been very hurt by her actions and her words. But this, she gets absolutely no money. No money goes to her pocket, and I'm going to be donating half of my host fee and all of the ticket sales. I get a kickback from the ticket sales, so all of the money I get back from that will be going to the transgendered National Transgendered Center for Equal Rights. So I'm hoping to get us 200. So if you like Harry Potter and you don't want to give J.K. Rowling any money, this is a great event to go to. It's online trivia, very low tickets, very low cost and ticket sales. It's a great time. It's going to be on February 25th, and it is going to be at 8 p.m. So I will also put more information about that in the comments and on my own page. So if you want to know more and you missed it in the comments, feel free to add me on Facebook. So we are trying to support our trans brothers and sisters, especially those who grew up loving the series and were hurt by her. Oh, we'll skip to, well, that's one of the things we're going to go to. So I really quickly want to share another sweet video of my nephew wearing one of those Kamala Harris shirts. I got them at Piccola, which again I'll also put in the comments. They have I love their shirts because they are children's T-shirts for that celebrate women in history. So I got them Marie Curie, and they have Harriet Tubman. They have a wide range of shirts. They're very quality, and I'm not sponsored by them. I just think they're a wonderful shirt. So I just really like this video. Again, Steven celebrating that we have the first female vice president.
Who is on your shirt?
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and why is she important?
Because she's the first girl.
The first girl what?
Vice president.
That's right. And all the other vice presidents were what?
Boys.
Boys! She's pretty awesome, huh?
So thank you, Stephen, for also celebrating. It definitely bears repeating. We are very proud of Miss Kamala Harris. All right, so we are going to jump right into drag activity time. I'm going to be checking the comments, so if you would like to say anything to our readers, I will definitely report back to them because they're going to be busy reading. So I'm going to see if we can get the connection to work. We have a very special visitor from the fairy, the pixie. I think they're from, to ask specifically where she's from, but it's definitely far away from where I am. Can you hear me, Queen Alora? Hello?
Oh, hello.
Oh,
I can hear you. I can hear you very well.
Oh, you look lovely today, per usual.
Oh, thank you so much, Marty. It's wonderful being here, as usual.
So where are you from? So we're from South Carolina. Where do you live?
Well, I live from the Enchanted Forest, and actually I live in the Fairy Kingdom, which is just near Neverland, and also Pixie Hollow and the Mermaid Lagoon as well.
Ooh, that sounds like a really exciting place to live.
It's full of magic, lots of mushrooms, lots of trees, lots of little critters and everything like that. But I think that you've actually met one of my daughters, Princess Avalon, the
We
pink
have.
fairy.
We have.
And also I think that you also met, if I'm correct, that you met the mermaids last week.
We sure did.
Oh,
So
and
silly.
how did that go? We all know that mermaids can have a bit too much to say sometimes.
Very, very fun, very energetic.
Oh, she is an absolute hoot, especially the Rainbow Mermaid. She is an absolute hoot.
Cracked us up.
Very fun.
Well, I'm very excited for them to see what you presented. So I'm gonna mute myself, and I'm really, really excited to let you take over.
Oh, fabulous! Thank you. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all again. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Queen Allura, and I am the queen of all the fairies. Also, my very special power is the power of light. So all the sun rays and all the light bugs and things like that, they're my own little doings. Now, I have been invited here today to not only sing you a song, but also to read you a story. Would you like that? You would? Hang on a second. I can't hear you. You're going to have to speak much louder than that because there's this magic mirror. Are you ready? Would you like that? Fabulous. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to read the story. And this is a story about a little girl no bigger than your thumb. And her name was Thumbelina. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Perfect. Now, once upon a time, a woman lived by herself in a faraway village. She was very lonely after her husband had died, but she'd always wanted a child. But alas, she didn't have any. One day, she went to see her friend who was a good witch. She gave her a grain of barley and told her to take it back home and plant it. The woman did as she was told. What do you think could happen? The next morning, a beautiful flower had grown from the seed. It had a lovely plumage and looked like a tulip. The woman had never seen a flower like that, and she was mesmerized by its beauty. She gently kissed one of the petals, and as she did, the flower blossomed open, and inside was a beautiful, tiny little girl, no bigger than the size of the woman's thumb. The woman instantly fell in love and said, "I shall call you Thumbelina." Thumbelina took away the woman's loneliness. In the day that she could tell her stories and talk to her, sometimes she would even make Thumbelina a boat out of the tulip petals so she could row in a plateful of water. At night, Thumbelina would sleep in a bed out of a walnut shell with a blanket made of a rose petal. One night, as she was sleeping, a frog came to her window and saw her. He thought to himself, "My, what a beautiful girl! She'd make a lovely bride for my son." And he grabbed Thumbelina and hopped away to his home. When his son saw his soon-to-be bride, he was very happy. "She's beautiful, father. I will marry her. But before that, I want to build her a beautiful house," said his son. "Okay, son, I'll put her on the water lily in the middle of the pond until then. This way she will not able to escape." And so the frog put Thumbelina in the middle of the pond on the water in a lily plant. Thumbelina tried to escape from her new home, but she couldn't. She broke down crying. Suddenly, two minnows who were swimming underneath the same leaf, they heard her cry. They asked her about her troubles and said, "What's wrong, little one?" And when she told them, they decided to help her. They nibbled away at the lily stem, and it broke, and Thumbelina floated away. Just then, Thumbelina thought she was free, and then a beetle came down and took away her home. He called over all his friends to introduce them to his new pretty prisoner, but the beetle's friends told him that she was too different from them and she didn't belong, and that she was ugly. "I agree. I think I should let her go," thought the beetle. So then he dropped her in the long grass and the flowers. Thumbelina was so very happy to be free from her captors. However, she did not know where her home was. She spent many days in the grass and between the flowers, and it was eating pollen of the flowers and drinking the dew from their leaves. One day, as she was walking, she stumbled upon a small house made of mud. It was a strange round house. She went up to it and knocked on the door 3 times. A mouse opened the door. "Hello, isn't it cold out there for you today? Please do come in." "Thank you very much," said Thumbelina. Once Thumbelina was settled comfortably in the mouse's home, he asked her who she was. Thumbelina told him her entire story. "Don't worry, you can stay here as long as you like," said the mouse. So Thumbelina stayed trying to find her new at home. To make herself useful in the house, she would cook for the mouse and tell him stories. After a few days, the mouse said that he had invited a guest over. "He is the richest mouse in all the land, and a very good friend of mine." That night, the mouse's friend came over for dinner. They talked and had a good time. During the course of dinner, the friend fell in love with Thumbelina and declared that he would marry her. Thumbelina had no choice but to go along with what was happening. When the friend offered to show her his home, she agreed to visit it, and the 3 of them set off together. On the way, they entered the tunnel. There, they found an injured swallow lying on the ground. The mouse's friend kicked it and rudely said, "Serves her right. What's she doing in the tunnels? He should have stayed in the air." Thumbelina was shocked to see that someone could treat another like this. Unseen by the mice, she ran away from there. When she was sure that the mice had left, she came back and attended to the swallow. She took great care of her until she was fit to fly again. It was spring by the time the swallow could fly. She told Thumbelina, I have to join my friends and family. They have flown to a warmer place. I cannot stay here. But come with me. But Thumbelina had had enough adventure and didn't want to go anywhere else but home. And so the swallow flew away. A few months passed, when the love-struck friend of the mouse found Thumbelina again. Oh, my beloved, I've been looking for you everywhere. Now I've found you and I must marry you. Thumbelina knew there was no way out of it for her, so she asked him if she could spend one last day out in the open air before she was confined to living the rest of her life underground. As she roamed in the open fields for one last time, she heard a familiar voice. Come, come with me from away, where a spirit will always be free, said the swallow. Thumbelina saw her old friend who had returned to her. This time round she agreed and hopped on the back of the swallow, and they took off, and they flew over the land and water and fields of green. When they reached the land of the flowers, the swallow landed and put Thumbelina on a beautiful flower petal. This is the kingdom of the flowers, and this is also the kingdom of the fairies, and that is their king, said the swallow. Thumbelina saw the handsome young king with beautiful wings. He was surrounded by lovely flowers. As soon as she saw him, she knew she wanted to call this place home. Her presence attracted the king's attention. He too fell in love with her immediately. Will you marry me? Asked the king. Yes, replied Thumbelina with a big smile. As happiness spread across her face, she grew a beautiful pair of wings and became the flower queen, and soon they were married. And little did she know that the fairy kingdom was just at the bottom of her mother's garden. So her mother was there all the time, and they all lived happily ever after. Now that is one of my favorite stories. It's so sweet. And could you imagine having a girl no bigger than your thumb? Well, I suppose us fairies are very small. You all seem to be very, very big. Especially when we get things like, what's the things that you always drop? Oh, lollipops. They taste very nice, but they are huge and they always give me a little bit of toothache. Now, before I go, because I do have to go and get through some queenly duties, no rest for the good and everything, I thought I could sing you a song. Now, this is a song that is all about the sky and the sun and going through and being free and everything. Now, I know that you had this awful curse, so maybe tomorrow you could go outside and appreciate that you have the earth in front of you. You have all those things. And when spring comes, you'll see the flowers and feel the sunshine on your skins again. And also, I heard that a special little snow queen has been letting loose lots of snow to everybody. We've even got it here over in the fairy kingdom. So you can go outside and you can look at all the snow as well. So, would you like to sing this song with me? You would? Oh, fabulous. Okay, then let me just quickly find this music. Excuse me, Maestro. Maestro, would you mind? We'd like to do a song. Oh, okay. He's just rounding up everybody. But whilst we're talking as well, one of the things that I would like to let you know about is that the most important thing is to be kind to one another, especially in these times. Everybody has to be kind to each other. And we could all be different things, whether you're a human, a fairy, a mermaid, or even a dog. You must always be kind to each person. Now, I'm going to sing this song and let's have a look at this. There we go. Are you ready? Fabulous. And sing with me if you know the words as well. Now, we're going to do deep breaths. Very good. And do you think you could warm up your voices with me? So give me an R after 3. 1, 2, 3, ah! Very good, very good. Now we'll do it one more time. So then you'll all be warmed up so you can sing along with me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, ah! Very good. You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk in the footsteps of a stranger, you learn things you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue calm moon, or asked the ring bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountains? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Very good. Now sing back with me on this next one, okay? Are you ready? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come rolling over riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The pixies and the sprites are my brothers. The goblins and hobbits are my friends, and we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. High does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue calm moon, or whether we are white or copper skinned. You need to sing with all the voices of the mountains, and to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still, or disown this earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. Oh, how wonderful. You sounded fantastic. Well done, everybody. And thank you so much for having me. But I must go now because I've got to go and put some children to bed. But thank you so much for having me, and I hope to see you all soon.
Woo woo woo! Oh God, that song gets me. I just want to go run outside and hug my tree. That's so good. All right, well, we will let you go. We are going to send a great big virtual hug to you, and we hope to see you back one day. We miss you so much already.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
I'll see you all very soon. CJ, I will see you next week for tea. Don't forget the pretzel biscuits, okay? Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Oh, wasn't she wonderful, everybody? Oh, I love her and that voice. Before we jump over to our next person, I saw some new faces in the chat, so I wanted to welcome to Tiffany. Welcome to so excited you could come. So excited. Welcome to Nissa. We love to see new faces joining us. So we are going to go talk to a friend. I'm so excited we've gotten to meet via story time. How are you, Cobra? How are you doing? There we go.
Hey, I am doing good.
Oh, so I said you mentioned some exciting news since the last time we saw you. Could you tell us a little bit more about it and what you do in that organization?
Yes, I am the new elected vice president of P-Flag Spartanburg chapter.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
So,
very awesome. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what this year has in store and learning new things and helping the community more.
so can you tell us a little bit about what PFLAG does?
I'm actually learning all that myself.
Mm-hmm.
We do host meetings. Right now, we're doing them virtually. We have virtual peer support group meetings. So if you know anybody who is down in a time of need or just needs somebody to talk to, or we do those once a month on Thursdays via Zoom as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, we have lots of good things coming. I don't want to spoil everything, but we have lots of new things coming this year.
Well, always send me a message about it so we can talk about it here on Drag Activity Time, because Spartanburg is not far from us at all. And
Absolutely.
it's especially hard in the South with it being such a red state. It feels like we're alone a lot of the time. Thankfully, in Columbia, it's not as bad, and we haven't had any hate directly with Drag Activity Time. But I think because we're on our own turf versus like a library, but it's definitely out there, and it's we definitely want to connect to as many support groups as we can um, be a part of. So any events you have, please let me know, and I'll be happy to talk about it.
Definitely.
Now, how did you get involved in it?
Um, well, I first came along PFLAG when I went to a Spartanburg Pride one year, and I loved what they were doing with the community and how involved they were, and everyone was just drawn to how supportive they were. So that is definitely something, as being a founder of the Transformers, for my trans support group, um, I wanted to get more involved on another level, not just helping trans, but helping the whole LGBTQ inclusive.
That sounds amazing. And you meet virtually, you said right now.
Yes, we're hoping to
Virtually,
go.
yeah.
We're hoping to go back to the libraries. That's
Mhm.
where we used to meet, so we can get more interaction with people, because I know everybody's missing that.
Yeah, like I said, but number one thing is to be safe. So we're happy that you can do that safely. I know there is a Columbia chapter. For anyone interested, I can place their information. Here's gonna be a lot of. I might need to do like a box, just like this is everything I talked about today, because it's gonna be overwhelming otherwise. So I'm really
Right, right.
excited you could be back on. Of course, one of the I love people that you volunteer any way you can. You're so kind. You always come back, and I love my repeat volunteers. It means so much to me. So I'm gonna let you take over. I'm excited to hear what you've got to share with us today. You
Well,
always do
thank
such a good
you.
job.
As always, I love coming and doing this, and being a part of this with everyone. I also want to give a shout out. My godson Jacob is on the video today for the first time. He's watching Drag Activity Hour. So I'm glad that they could be with us today. So I am reading Squeak the Lion. Let's see if we can see this here. Little Squeak was the youngest lion cub in the pride. All of the other lions loved Squeak. He's so cute and cuddly, they say. Isn't he funny, they said. But Squeak didn't want to be cute and funny. He wanted to be like his older brothers, Bruno and Leo. Bruno was brave and strong. Leo was clever and cunning. Squeak wasn't even his proper name. His real name was Rory. That's a proper lion's name. Squeak was a silly baby's name. Why does everyone call me Squeak? He asked his brothers grumpily. Because when you were a baby, you would squeak, explained Leo. But everyone called you Squeak, laughed Bruno. One day, Bruno and Leo was going hunting. Wait for me, called Squeak. Trotting after them, Squeak hurried to catch up. But soon his little legs were feeling tired. He stopped for a rest and watched as Bruno and Leo disappeared into the tall grass. When he finally caught up with them, Bruno and Leo were crouched over a nest of tasty-looking eggs. Suddenly, there was a head appeared, swaying above the tall grass. It was a snake. The nest of eggs belonged to her. She lunged at the lion cubs. But brave Bruno roared, swiped the snake with his paw, and she slithered away. Wow, Bruno, that was brave, said Leo, as the lion cubs made their way home. Did you see how brave Bruno swiped the sneaky snake? Said Squeak. Just at that moment, Squeak spotted a lizard crossing his path. He swiped the lizard with his paw, just like Bruno. But the lizard quickly flicked out his tongue, smacking Squeak on the nose. Squeak was so surprised that he jumped. The angry lizard continued on his way. Bruno and Leo laughed. "You're so funny, Squeak," they roared. The next day, Bruno and Leo went hunting. "Wait for me," called Squeak as he followed his brothers down the watering hole. It was very muddy along the bank, and Squeak's paws kept sinking in the mud. It slowed him down. "Now I'll never catch up," he sighed as he watched his brothers walking away. Then Bruno and Leo stopped. They spied some paw prints in the mud. "These tracks belong to a water buffalo," they said, sniffing the ground. "Let's follow it, sneak up from behind," said Bruno as they looked at the muddy paws. By the time Squeak reached the water, there was lots of paw prints in the mud, and his brothers were nowhere to be seen. Squeak sniffed the ground, looked at the paw prints. "I could follow the tracks too," said Squeak to himself. And then he set off to follow the tracks around and around for a long way until Squeak suddenly heard his brothers laughing. He looked up and looked around at the tracks. Squeak had been following his own tracks in a big circle. "You're so funny, Squeak," they laughed. The following day, Bruno and Leo were going hunting again. "Wait for me," called Squeak, but this time his brothers didn't want Squeak to come along. "Not this time, Squeak," said Bruno. "You'll slow us down." "Or get into trouble," said Leo. But Squeak wasn't going to miss a hunting trip. He followed his brothers a little way behind. Bruno and Leo soon disappeared down a trail through some trees. They followed the trail until they found a good place to set up a trap. Clever Leo pulled up some berries under a tree where a hungry squirrel would find them. Brave Bruno climbed up the tree, crept along a branch, and ready to pounce. Very soon, a squirrel hopped toward the berries. The trap had worked. Bruno crept further along the branch, ready to pounce, but suddenly there was a crack. The branch came crashing down. Startled, the squirrel ran off as Bruno tumbled to the ground. "Ouch!" roared Bruno. His tail was caught under the branch. Bruno was trapped and he couldn't move. "Don't worry, Bruno," called clever Cleo. "I'll find a way to get you out." Squeak had caught up to his brothers and was watching from behind a tree. "Oh, my tail," Bruno moaned. "Hurry, help me out." "Now," thought Leo, "all I need to do is find a heavy rock to lift with the branch." But Leo didn't finish because a loud "Arr!" interrupted him. It was the sound of an elephant. "Oh no," groaned Bruno. "We're on an elephant trail. And the elephants are heading this way," grasped Leo. While Leo dashed about to find a piece of rope, a long line of elephants appeared at the end of the track. Squeak looked at the elephants, then looked at Bruno trapped under the branch. The elephants were getting nearer and nearer. Leo wasn't going to make it out in time. The ground began to shake as the elephants trampled closer and closer. "There's no time to lose," thought Squeak. He saw a gap below the branch that was just big enough for him to squeeze under. He dashed out from his hiding place into the gap, and more with a roar than a squeak, he heaved the branch up with all of his might. The branch lifted just enough for Bruno to pull out his tail. Then Squeak pulled the branch away. The elephants were almost on top of them. Bruno, Squeak, and Leo leaped into the trees just as the elephants were thundering by. Wow, Squeak, that was brave, said Bruno. That was really clever, Squeak, said Leo. The three brothers climbed down the tree. Did you see the way Squeak came to the rescue, said Bruno. Wait until we tell everyone how brave and clever Squeak was, said Leo. Squeak felt very proud. Maybe we should call you Rory from now on, said his brothers. Squeak smiled, but somehow he didn't mind being called Squeak after all. The end.
Oh, I love that book. I love how he took a nickname he didn't like and he made it special to him. That's a
Right?
great book. Why did you pick that book? Any particular reason?
Truth be told, I had a nickname when I was a child. I still don't know why I was given this nickname, but my aunt, I'm telling my age, I'm almost 41 years old, and my aunt still calls me that. She refuses to call me Jeremy or anything else.
There you go. And so that anyone with a name that you didn't know where it came from. I
Right,
love
just
that.
live up to it. Yeah, just own it.
Could be worse. It could be worse.
Right.
I love that. And kind of owning it. Like, yeah, I love that about myself. And
Right.
I love
And
that.
not just with the nickname, just anything about you. Just own it. Just be proud of who you are.
Oh yeah, like I said, I remember the longest time wanting to be taller, and we were at this like museum, and it was talking about like ancient medical techniques, and it was a stretcher
Right.
when they used to like. I was like, maybe that would work for me, and I was like, maybe they were onto something. But you know, you gotta
Right.
own being short, own who you are,
That's
and
right.
accepting it. Well, I love that story. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Cobra. Also, my nephew thinks that that's the coolest name ever. So, he may
Well,
be
thank you.
adopting maybe he'll be a part of the Culber family.
There
Youngest
you go.
member of the house. Thank you so much. Well,
Absolutely.
speaking of my nephew, those who are not new to Drag Story Time will be very familiar with Steven. He's constantly, with his mother's help, commenting below, being very supportive of everyone who reads. Same with his sisters. So, with his mother's help, they're going to read a story for us this week. And then we're going to have Addie's Art Corner. And then we're going to finish up with CJ Foxstar. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up their pre recorded video. Momentarily. There it is. Let me come over here. So I am very excited to present to you a Stephen and Aaron Bowles production. There we go. Oh, let me mute myself.
All right, so we are going to read the book Mouse Was Mad. And it's going to talk about some different things you can do when you're mad. Now, the author of this book is Linda Urban, and the illustrator of the book is Henry Cole. Now, can you help me remember the parts of the book?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. So this is the what?
Back cover.
Oh, this is the what?
Front cover.
Front cover, right. And this is the...
back cover.
Yep, and this right here is the...
Spine.
The spine. Very good. High five. You're on a roll. All right. Let's find out what Mouse did when he was mad. Mouse was mad. Hopping mad. You look ridiculous, said Hare, and Mouse stopped hopping. Let me show you how to hop properly, said Hare, who is truly a hopping whiz. Mouse tried to hop like Hare, but nothing happened. Mouse hopped, and he flopped and splush into a what?
Mud puddle.
A mud puddle. Now Mouse was mad. He was stomping mad. Let's do some stomping. Ready? Oh, he was stomping mad. You call that stomping, said Bear. Mouse stopped stomping. Stomping done right should result in the shaking of trees and the rumbling of the earth. Bear stomped. Let's stomp like Bear. Are you ready? Oh, very good. That's some good. Huh. The trees shook and the earth rumbled. Mouse tried to stomp like Bear. Let's try for the mouse. But the trees did not shake and the earth did not rumble. Mouse stomp, stomp, splash! Into a what? Into a what?
Mud puddle.
A mud puddle. Now Mouse was really mad. He was screaming mad. All right, let's scream like a mouse. Remember, a mouse screams quietly. Here we go. You call that screaming? That's hardly a scream at all, said Bobcat. Mouse stopped screaming. When I scream, you can hear it. It echoes through the woods. Bobcat screamed to prove his point. Let's scream like Bobcat. Here we go. Ready? Perfect. Mouse opened his mouth wide and let out the loudest scream he could imagine. All right, here we go. Let's scream like a mouse. No echo. He tried arching his back like Bobcat, and he lost his balance and splashed into a what?
Mud puddle.
Oh, this poor mouse. Now Mouse was really, really mad, rolling around on the ground mad. Put your feet in, said Hedgehog. Mouse stopped rolling. The best rolling is achieved when the body is a perfect sphere. Hedgehog tickled his nose, tucked in his nose and his feet and his hands, and he made a perfect sphere. Mouse tucked in his nose and his feet and his hands, but he was not a perfect sphere. He was close, but not a perfect sphere. He pulled in his tail, he rolled around, and he went splash into the yuckiest mud puddle of all. Now Mouse was really, really, really mad. He was standing still mad. Let's stand still. Mouse did not hop. He did not scream. He did not yell or roll on the ground. He just stood very, very still. Impressive, said Hare. What control, said Bear. Are you breathing, said Hedgehog. Mouse took a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. He let out his breath. Bobcat heard air whistle through his nose, but he did not see Mouse move. Inspiring, said Bobcat. Bobcat stood very still, and he breathed very deep and tried not to move. Your ears twitched, said Hare. Let me try. But he could not keep his tail from wiggling. And then Mouse realized he was no longer mad. I feel better, said Mouse. You look better, said Bear. But now you need a bath, said Hedgehog. Good idea, said Mouse. Splash! So, Stephen, what are some things that you do when you get mad?
I scream.
You scream.
I stomp.
You stomp.
I jump.
You jump.
I roll.
You roll.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, what are some things that you can do to calm down when you're mad? What can you take?
I take a deep breath, have some fun,
Yeah.
play with my toys.
And then are you mad after you do all that? Nope, you're not mad. So you can say, thanks for reading with us.
Thanks for reading with us.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Oh, that was fabulous, Steven. And those are some great ways to, first off, great animation in that. The mouse scream will always be my favorite. Ah! I feel like we need a story time mouse scream challenge. That was fantastic. But yeah, I love the things that your book mentioned of doing to calm down. Some of them were what we do here at Drag Story Time. So the deep breath for sure. That in and out, like we said, through the mouth, through the nose, and then out through the mouth, like you're smelling a flower and you're blowing out the birthday candles. There we go, not the cake. But that's an excellent book to learn how to control your anger. So fantastic, Stephen and Aaron, you did a great job. And I like that we kind of show here that there is no age limit to volunteering for drag story time. You can be very, very little and do a wonderful job. And we welcome anyone. Drag activity time is not just for drag artists, it is dancing, reading, arts, and games. And I'm really excited that we are having the arts feature today with another one of our youngest volunteers, Addie Bowles, sister to Steven. So she's going to be demonstrating how she volunteers by showing us how she made her recent Valentine's Day art creation.
Ooh, I like the blue circle. That's a good technique. Ooh, I like that technique.
I like to imagine that's what CJ's process is. It's very similar. Just like, does this work? And then getting some on your arm and just kind of like, that's fine. Not getting upset and moving on. So that was really adorable. So there is no reason, like I said, if you're nervous to come on drag activity time, uh, don't be. We're a very welcoming group. Anyone can do it. Everyone has a talent. Everyone has an art. We're really excited to celebrate it. Addie, that was fantastic. Steven and Aaron, that was fantastic. We're going to go to our other resident artist, which is CJ Foxstar, who has yet another work of art on his face today, and I want to let him talk about it before he starts reading.
I mean, you call it art, I call it glitter, I call it, and some people call it a mess. I mean,
No one, no. Okay, so do a slow turn.
all right,
Uh,
so
do 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 do. I don't want to get in trouble for copyright again.
yeah. So, for those that don't know, like I ended up painting the transgender colors on the outline of the star, and then I did the black and brown for people of color, but more notably because of Black people of color. So, for two reasons why I chose these colors. The first is because me being a military service member, the transgender ban on military service members was recently lifted, and it's a big, big step for the military. And I'm so excited to start serving alongside those individuals because to me, it's if you can meet the standard, there's no reason why you can't join. Like
Absolutely.
plain and simple. And then the reason why, oh man, I'm losing my voice already. And then the reason why I chose the people of color colors from the flags that you usually see on my face is because it's February, and for those that may not know, it's Black History Month. So that is a big deal. I mean, so that's why I chose these colors. That's why I picked this outfit. I mean, the outfit's always rainbow. I got a rainbow behind me. I got a shirt that's rainbow. I got a hat that's rainbow. So I think I had enough rainbow on me today to allow for more more creative looks.
That's your aesthetic. That is your
Yes,
aesthetic. I feel like
I
if
love
there is
rainbows.
a like if we went shopping together, there was only like one rainbow outfit, it would be a fight to the
I'd
fight.
let you have it. I'm polite. I love
No.
rainbows, but I'll let you take it.
We work on like a sharing system. We work on sharing. Oh, we would. Okay, so I'm very, very excited. I know you have. I'm gonna let you add it.
Oh, okay. My turn.
That
Yay.
was a really awkward
So,
way of saying you can go ahead.
so I will admit, I have been very busy, so I apologize that I wasn't able to find a new book. But thankfully, I have the Treasury of Curious George, so I'm going to be reading another Curious George story to y'all this time around. I did change my bookmark, and because we practiced the Pikachu this afternoon at the beginning, ironically enough, my bookmark is not a Pikachu, but it's a Mimikyu. So, which happens to be my second favorite Pokemon. If y'all remember last time I read and had a bookmark, my first favorite is Sylveon, because who doesn't love the evolutions? So, Curious George and the Dump Truck. See, illustrated in the style of H.A. Ray, and then it's by Margaret and H.A. Ray. Okay, let's start. This is George. He lived with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. I think we know that real well. This morning, George was playing with his toys when he heard a funny noise outside his window. Why, it was not. Oh, wait. I think I skipped a page. Forgive me. I got overexcited. There it is. It sounded like a quack. George was curious. What could be quacking underneath his window? It was a duck, of course. Then George heard another quack and another. Wonder why there's so many quacks from one duck. Oh, that's why. Why, it was not just one duck. It was a mother duck and five small ducklings. Ducklings were something new to George. How funny they were. He watched the ducklings waddle after their mother. Where were they going? George was not curious for long. Soon he was waddling after Mother Duck too. Now he could see where they were going. Get him down there somewhere. There it is. The ducks waddled all the way to the park. George loved the park. Today he saw children flying kites and gardeners planting trees by the pond. Then George saw something he had never seen in the park before. Before. Find out. It was a dump truck, and it was big. In fact, George was not even as tall as one wheel. George forgot all about the ducklings and stopped to take a look. It would be fun to sit in such a big truck, thought George. No one was inside the truck, and the window was wide open. George could not resist. But sitting in a big truck was not so fun for a little monkey after all. George could not even see out the window. He was too small. If only there were something to climb on. Would this make a good step for a monkey? Ooh, I don't know about that. It did. Now George could see out the window. He saw grass and trees and a family eating a picnic. Suddenly, George heard a low rumbling sound. Was it his stomach rumbling? He wondered. It had been a long time since breakfast, but the rumbling was not coming from George's stomach. Do y'all know where it's coming from? Let's find out. It was coming from the back of the truck. George was curious. He climbed out of the window. Then, like only a monkey can, he swung up onto the top of the truck. Now he could take a look. He saw the truck was filled with dirt. George was excited. Me too. What could be better than a truck full of dirt? George jumped right in the middle of it, sitting on top of the dirt. George felt the truck had begun to tilt. Oh man, I don't know what's going on. The bed's tilting, it's all full of dirt. It tilted higher and higher. The dirt began to slide. It was sliding right into the pond, and George slid with it. George was having fun. It does look like fun. But the pile in the pond got bigger and bigger and bigger. And soon the fun was gone. Just then the gardeners came back from lunch and stood with their mouths wide open. They saw the empty dump truck, the pile of dirt in the pond, and a very muddy monkey. They knew just what had happened, but before they could say a word, George heard a familiar sound. Wonder what it is. He heard more quacking. The gardeners heard it too. Then they heard people laughing. Look, said a girl, the ducks have their own island. Indeed they did. The pile of dirt made an island in the pond, and Mother Duck and all her ducklings were waddling right on top. George was sorry. He had made such a mess, but the gardeners didn't seem to mind. We were planting more trees and flowers to make the park nicer for people, said one of the gardeners. But you've made the park nicer for ducks, too. Later, a small crowd gathered at the pond. Would you like to help me feed the ducks? A girl asked George. George was delighted. Soon, everyone was enjoying the park more than ever before, including the ducks, who were the happiest of all in their new home. And he's feeding them. The end.
Oh, I got so excited when you're doing Curious George. I feel like we need to do like a tandem. Like you'd also be adorable as the man in the yellow hat. I'm just saying. Like one
I
day.
didn't do that. I didn't do that at one point. I think I might do that for the last of the Treasury series.
Okay, I'm so down with that. Oh, we could do like a classic children's literature. I don't. Maybe I'll do Miss Frizzle or something. That'd be really cool. She's like I said,
Yes,
she
that would be
had a book
such a
series.
fun. That'd be so fun.
Cobra, start thinking about what you're doing. Maybe we'll like, just going, I'm excited. Tilly would be all down for that. Now, who's Tilly? I don't know who that is. Oh,
Oh, that'd
thank
be
you
so
so
fun.
much, CJ. Okay, we're all gonna be on here like the Brady Bunch.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much, Colbert, for coming back. Please send me any information I can post about PFLAG, any upcoming. Now, I do have a question. So I know there is a Columbia chapter, but could someone from Columbia tune into one of your Zoom meetings, or does it have to be kind of like in your specific area?
Um, well, they can like for the peer support group meetings and stuff. They can join those. But we have like our leadership, the board. We have
Okay.
our own specific meetings, but we are working with the Columbia chapter as well.
Okay, great. Just in case, like I said, to get some more information out there.
Yep.
I mean, it's just to even have support during this crazy time. If you have any events, I'd be happy to promote them. Now, CJ, I hopefully my donation got there. You're also doing a sock drive. Is that still going on, or did you just finish up? And if so, how's it going?
Yeah, so the sock drive's still going on. For those that may not know, I'm part of the Crown Magnolia Court of Georgia. It's a 501c3 that's LGBT focused, but basically our mission statement is to get out there and promote inclusivity, and a lot of that comes through the art of drag performances, shows, fundraisers, and all that good stuff. So this sock drive we're doing for the homeless was a challenge that was issued at the national level. And my last post, we were at 1780. I am now sitting at 2100 socks.
What? That's
Very nice.
awesome.
Very
And
nice.
that's only been about a week and a half. So I'm super excited.
Well, I really should ask you this on. Did you ever get mine?
Yes, I did.
Oh, weird, because it says like I was gonna ask you, because it says it's still on the way. So
So it gives me a
weird.
note. So I did see it because it gives me a notice to let me know, like, hey, socks are on the way. This is who got them.
Okay, good. Yeah, and like I said, if you're not near where CJ is, you can donate on Amazon. That's why I brought it up, because it's
Yeah.
Amazon. CJ has an Amazon gift registry, which is great for anyone who wants to give and is not nearby. And like you said, the physical ask what people need, and if, now money donations, are those also being accepted?
So the purpose of it is a sock drive. It's not saying that I wouldn't accept money donations to purchase socks, but I'm much more comfortable doing the Amazon thing and people just buying them and sending them this way.
Sure. Like I said, if any you have any other charities that we can push through, especially during this time,
Yes.
happy to use our small little platform for that. So I am going to end by showing everyone our next show. We do not have one next week, so I've now put a new idea on here to help you know when the next show is and help me. That's one of my goals this year, is to be more organized. So this is one of the steps that I have. Our next show will be February 21st at 3 p.m., which will be a break for CJ, because CJ has been on like every show for the past like month. So when I was typing this out, I was like, CJ's not on here. Strange. We will have Tilly. We will have Tilly, who is a friend of some mermaids and some fairies. She'll be back. A new friend named Hannah. She'll be singing a song live for us. Femke, who is also a friend of CJ and mine, will be singing, and a Columbia City uh ballet Columbia treasure, Miss Bonnie Bolarjoili. She has been on before. She is one of the principal dancers at the Columbia City Ballet. So hopefully she'll be on here and she's going to talk about the importance and safety of point shoes in ballet and the art of you being on those point shoes and how they are able to continue doing ballet in this COVID time safely. So be on the lookout for us. We will be gone for a little bit. So have a happy Valentine's Day. We love you. We miss you. Our doors are always open virtually. If you ever need a well wish, we are here for you. Um, Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you to my volunteers. If this is something you would like to do, please let me know. Please get in touch with me. I always need people to help me promote, to reach out to new people, to make flyers for me. And we're also looking for someone to help me figure out closed captioning because we are trying to be inclusive. I'm sorry we haven't done it yet. I am working on it. Every time I have done it, it will show up on our end, but will not show up on your end. So if anyone knows how to do that, please get in contact with me. And we will hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you on February 21st. Bye.
Bye.